Hey there, welcome to LC Yoga. My name is Laura, and today we're working on releasing holiday stress and returning to a place of gratitude and peace. So if you're ready, get on your mat and I'll meet you there. Today's practice is a simple flow that'll help you kind of move around a little, get a little bit warmed up, but then really relax. So you may want to have some props nearby, especially for those relaxing poses later on, but also some of the hip openers. So if you have any blocks or cushions or pillows, sweatshirts, anything that you have handy, have it nearby in arm's reach so you can grab it. And we're going to start today in a child's pose. So come on to the back of your mat and let it be a wide-legged child's pose. So let the knees go apart and kind of snuggle in. And then start to just drape the torso over, out in front and reach the arms forward. Forehead can rest on the ground. If your anatomy isn't allowing for this, maybe have a cushion between you and the ground. We're going to be here for a couple of minutes. So you can bring the forehead down, maybe stack the fists, rest the forehead. Really just find a place where you can sink into the hips, let the hips drop toward the heels, and start to deepen the breath. We've probably been doing a lot of sitting, a lot of eating. Let the nervous system enter the rest and digest nervous system tone. And you can switch that on by breathing deep. Long inhales and exhales. Just listen to the sound of your breath bouncing back from the mat. Just noticing how it sounds like the ocean. Ever so slowly start to lift the head up, walk the elbows forward, and start to lift the hips. You come on to hands and knees. And then let the hips drop forward. Just let them drop down with the arms straight. Get a little stretch in the front of the hip flexor, and then lift the hips and come on back to child's pose. And do that a couple of times. Coming forward, drop the hips, look up, and pull back. 2 more times like that. Inhaling forward. Exhaling, pull back. And rounding the spine forward. Head is the last thing to lift up. And pull it back. This time as you come forward, and bring your left knee to the center line and then step your right foot forward into a lunge. Grab your hand around the ankle and just pull it forward if it needs a little help. And then scoot that foot out toward the right so your knee is on the outside of your right shoulder. Arms can be straight, and here's where you might want to prop. This may feel like a little too much on the hip, so you may want to curl that back toe under and come up a bit, putting the hands onto a bolster or cushion, or maybe resting the elbows on the front thigh. Really all you're looking to do is just drop the hips here and get a nice stretch in the front of the left hip and also into that right one. So just let the hips get heavy. If the hands are on the ground, maybe the arms are straight, or you can come all the way down onto elbows if you're a little more open. Or try any variation in between. So maybe the elbows on a bolster. Just figure that out. If it feels better to flex that foot and wing the knee out to the right, you can do that too. Maybe even rocking back and forth. Really just mining for the stuck places here. Just kind of roll back and forth. Find a tight spot, just hang out there and breathe into it. Let it open. We hold so much tension in our hips. Sitting certainly does not help that. So rock around and just let that creak and crack open. Big deep breaths. And with every inhale, let that hip inflate. And then exhale, let it deflate. And then wherever you are, walk the hands back up so you can scoot that knee back, come back to hands and knees. And we're just going to simply take the other side. So step your left foot forward to the outside of your left shoulder and find your variation here. So use your cushion or your bolster. My left side is always different from my right. It's always tighter. So you may have a different variation on each side. So for this one, I'm going to stay up taller and just let the hips get heavy and wait for them to open. Big, big breaths right into the hips. Again, you can flex that left foot and wing the knee out to the left. And it takes the stretch into the outer hip a little more. It's really just a matter of preference. Or you can leave the foot flat on the floor, drawing your knee in toward your shoulder. Either way. But if you're going to wing the knee out, flex that foot so that your ankle and your knee stay stable. Maybe rock around back and forth. Inhales and exhales are super deep. Maybe inhale through the nose. Exhale through an open mouth. Let's start to pull the hips back. Bring both knees back to center. And let your hands go a little wider than your shoulders. Curl the toes under and then lift the hips up. So you're in a downward dog. And keep your knees as bent as they need to be here. You don't want to be rounding the spine. Just press the heels into the ground at the same time you're bending your knees and then turning your tailbone up toward the sky. Press the fingers into the ground. Deep breaths into the backs of the legs. Maybe even press the chest through the shoulders a little bit. Get a little bit of an anahatasana, heart chakra pose, and then stretch the shoulders. I don't know about you, but hips and shoulders, it's where all my stress lives. Maybe bend one knee and then the other, just stretching into the back of one leg at a time. Then come to a neutral spine, so you're in a regular downward dog, and then lift your right foot up toward the sky, taking a deep breath in. And then as you exhale, step it forward between your hands into a high lunge, so leaving the back knee up off the ground. And then come on up to stand. Sweep the arms out to the sides and up, and reach up. Just stretch that front body. All that holiday food. Ugh. Press the left hip forward, chest up to the sky. Reach the arms up. And just stretch those abs out. You can stay reaching the arms up, or if you want to add a little arm flow to that, cactus the arms and inhale to arch back. And then exhale, lean forward and press the hands forward. Inhale, come on back, cactus arms, bring something good in toward you. And then exhale, let all the bad stuff go. Inhale, arch it back, bring in gratitude. Exhale all that stress. One more time like that. Inhaling to come back. And exhaling, push it all the way. Bring the hands down by the front foot and step back, downward dog. We'll take that to the other side. Inhaling, left foot reaches up toward the sky. And exhale, step it forward between the hands and come on up, high lunge. Inhale the arms, reach up. Press your right hip forward this time. Chest up toward the sky, back, up and away from that back foot. Those back toes are just kind of grounding into the ground. And you can stay there. Come with me on the arm flow. Inhaling, cactus the arms, chest up. And exhale, press it forward. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, bringing in gratitude. And release. Exhaling. Let all that go. One more time, inhale, and exhale. Bring the hands down by the front foot, step it back, downward dog. This time lift that left foot up again, reach it up high. And step it forward into a lunge and then walk the hands between the feet as you turn toward the right side of your mat. Turn your feet into turnout, bend the knees, and come on up, resting the hands on the knees. And then just drop down in between your shoulders. Just let the shoulders come up to the ears. I love this one. It's a really good stretch for the shoulders. Let the hips get heavy. I'm going to stretch it into the side waist here. So inhale here in center. And then as you exhale, turn to look over your left shoulder and let your right shoulder come forward. And then inhale to come back to center. Exhale, turn toward the right. Left shoulder goes forward. Inhale back to center. A couple more times like that. Inhaling. Exhale, turn to the left. Inhale. Exhale, right. One more time in each side. Inhaling and exhale. As you inhale, straighten the knees and bring the arms into cactus arms, chest up to the sky, arch it back. And then as you exhale, rebend the legs. Turn your left foot into more of a lunge. So your right foot goes out, your left is sort of parallel to the back of the mat. Back leg is straight, front leg bent. Reach the right arm up, left arm down the back leg. So you're in reverse warrior. Stretch the side waist. And then straighten into the front leg. And as you do that, let the hips shift toward the left. We're coming into triangle. So the right hand goes down the shin, left arm up. And the pelvis is tilted here. So it's tilted toward that front foot. So the side waist is long and straight. Hand can come down to the foot or the floor. Triangle pose. On your next inhale, bend into the front knee and come back to reverse warrior. And then exhale back into triangle and go into extended triangle. So the left arm goes overhead. 2 more times like that. Inhaling, reverse it. Exhale, stretch it long. Now this time as you come up, bend into both knees again, and then straighten them as you cactus the arms and arch back. And let's take that to the other side. So left foot goes out toward the left, right foot is parallel to the back of the mat. Reverse warrior on this side. Side stretch for a couple of breaths. And then as we start to tilt toward the front foot, that leg starts to straighten. Bring the right arm up. Triangle pose this side. Now keep your left knee as bent as it needs to be to keep your torso flat. It's really more important that we tilt the pelvis. We don't want to round to the side. Just pulling your right hip toward your back foot. And you'll find that awesome stretch in the left. On your next inhale, come on up, reverse warrior. 3 times, we'll flow like this. And then exhale back to triangle. Right arm goes overhead. Drop the shoulder away from the ear. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhale, peaceful warrior. Exhale, stretch it out. Now this time as you come up, bend both knees. Come up straight knees, cactus the arms, arch. And this time we'll fold forward, wide-legged forward fold. Placing the hands on the ground, maybe they walk a little bit behind the feet and press forward to help lengthen the spine. Knees can be bent here, so do not have to straighten. Just let the head and shoulders get heavy. And then walk the hands forward so the arms are straight, and then just bend one knee and the other. And we're just going to come and roll down into a seated position. And we'll start our stretches here with Baddha Konasana, butterfly. So bring the bottoms of the feet together, knees go out to the side. And the feet can be far away from your hips. They don't have to be close in. And just start to rock back and forth, and then it sort of scoots the hips back. Because again, we're trying to tilt the pelvis forward. You can also sit up on something if that helps you lean forward. So find a good spot and just start pressing your chest forward. And the hands can be on the feet or the floor. Close the eyes. Don't worry about what it looks like. Just press the chest forward and press the hips back. And then just let gravity do the rest. Big, slow breaths. We moved a little, now we're slowing it way, way down. And sometimes you have to move to let tension release out of the body before you can really sink down into the peaceful space you created. The more time you spend in a relaxed state, The more you teach your nervous system how to have grace under fire. With each breath, you might find that your chest is getting a little closer to your feet. Press it forward. We're not pressing down, we're pressing forward. Couple more big breaths here. The hands up and cross the legs, and we're going to roll over the knees and come down onto your belly. Place the elbows under the shoulders, and we'll take Sphinx pose. So Sphinx pose, press the pelvis down, and the chest again goes forward and up. So you're sort of drawing your chest through your shoulders. As you press your elbows down, it should take the shoulders away from the ears. Sort of sitting tall. It's not a passive pose. Drawing the chest forward. So you're aiming the back bend into the upper spine, not the lower. But if this feels like too much, you may want to lower down, stack your fists, and rest your forehead. We're not looking to create any crunching in the lower back. We just want to open the front body. So if that feels good, keep drawing the chest forward. Whatever feels like too much, back up out of it. We're going to be here for just another minute. If it doesn't feel like much at all, you may want to bend your knees and bring your heels towards your glutes. What we're doing when we do these long-held, more yin yoga poses is creating a healthy compression. A gentle compression. It's good for the joints when we do it this way, but we have to be careful and realize where the edge is and back up out of it if it becomes too much. Breathe and open, close the eyes. No need to worry about what it looks like. And wherever you are, we're going to stack the palms, lower down slowly, and bring the forehead down to rest. Maybe wiggle the hips to release the back. And take a couple big breaths here. Ever so slowly, press the hands into the ground, lift the hips up, keep the knees wide, and we're going to come right on back to a child's pose, just to let that open back up and reverse that back bend we just did. So bring the forehead down, breathe, and let the back body open up. And then come on forward, walk the knees forward so that you can roll down onto your butt and let your legs go wide into an Upavishta Konasana. And this will be just about our last set of poses. So bend into the knees and then kind of pull the thighs backwards so you're sort of rolling onto the front of the pelvis. And leave the knees as bent as they need to be, and feel free to put something underneath if this feels like too much. So you can be up like this with something under the knees. And start to lean forward. And again, in all our back bends, we press the chest forward. So we're not rounding like this. We're pressing the chest forward, so we're rolling on to the front of the pelvis. Close the eyes. And you may, if you're feeling more open, you might come all the way down into elbows. Some people can just flop right down on their bellies here, but that's not most of us. But if elbows feels like too much, just leave the arms straight. Close the eyes. Press the hips back and the chest forward and just breathe. While we're hanging out here, we're going to do a little exercise. So start to think of 3 things that you're grateful for. Number 1, pick a person. So a loved one, can be anyone, a partner, a parent, a pet, a child, a friend. Take your pick. Second, select a place that you're grateful for. Some place you visited, some place you dream about, some place you've been a lot, some place you've never been, doesn't matter, some place that gives you joy. And then third, select an experience and memory that you're grateful for. A happy day or a happy time. And as we lean forward, come back to that person that you selected. And with each breath, inhale, picture them. And as you exhale, thank them. Keep pressing the chest forward. With every inhale, picture that person. With every exhale, just say thank you, either out loud or inside. And then walk the hands back up, and we'll take a little twist and a side bend here. So bend into the right knee and bring your elbow to the inside of that knee. You may want something underneath that elbow, like a cushion. And then reach your left arm up toward the sky, but don't just reach it up there, kind of open up like a wing. Just roll and twist up toward the sky. So your heart's going up toward the sky, and then you can reach the arm over, or you can leave it straight up. Close the eyes again here. We're just looking for a side bend. So if it feels like too much, again, come up out of it and maybe bring the palm of your hand to the floor instead of your elbow. Keep turning the chest up toward the sky, and as your eyes are closed, think of that place that you're grateful for. And as you inhale, picture that place. And as you exhale, a simple thank you. One more time. And then come on up to center, and we'll take it to the other side. Left elbow down, open your right arm like a wing. Just open it up. Roll the chest up toward the sky. Leave that arm straight up or draw it overhead. And again, the palm of the hand can be on the ground instead if that feels like too much. When you find your place, close the eyes, dropping the right hip down, turning the chest up. Picture that experience or memory with an inhale, and then exhale your gratitude. And last time like that. And then inhale to come on up. Draw the knees in toward you. Lean back on your hands, and we'll just windshield wipe the knees from one side to the other, just to reverse that external rotation we were doing. Just internally rotate the legs. And then come on down, lie down on your back, and draw your knees in toward your chest. Just wrap your arms around. Draw them in. Let your back go completely flat on the ground. Maybe rock back and forth. Just let your knees get heavy towards your chest. If interlacing your fingers or grabbing onto wrists doesn't feel good, you can just rest one hand on each knee. We're going to be here for just a minute. Keep breathing deep. Let the back release into the ground. The eyes closed. Give yourself a squeeze, little hug. Holidays can be filled with joy, but for some of us, it can be really difficult. For some, it's a time of year to just get through. So if that's not you, see if you can spread your joy around. And if it is you, just know that you're not alone. And that we'll all get through this time. As we always do. Bring the feet down to the floor and let your legs stretch out in front of you. We'll take a Shavasana. So that the feet flop open. Let your arms go out to the sides, hands open, palms to the sky. Snuggle your shoulders under. Close the eyes and let everything get heavy. Just release into the earth. Knowing you have nothing to do now, nowhere to go. This moment is all that matters. And if you find your mind starts to become busy again, while you lay here, come back to that person, that place, and that memory that give you joy and peace. And just let that wash over you. Let them form your center. Oh, you can stay here as long as you like, just absorbing your own gratitude and this energy. And when you're ready, start to place the bottoms of the feet on the floor. Bring the hands to the thighs and let the knees knock together. Draw your knees in toward the chest, give them a squeeze. And then find your way up to sit. Come into a comfortable seated position, cross-legged, half lotus, whatever feels good. Bring the backs of the hands to the knees, palms up, close the eyes, sit tall. Today we tapped into that peaceful place inside that is always there. We don't have to create it, we just have to go find it. So take a moment to thank yourself for taking the time to step on your mat. Thank your body for allowing you to do so. And thank your breath for leading the way. Namaste. Thanks for joining me. If you enjoyed today's class, come find me over on lcyoga.com. There you'll find all kinds of content that doesn't exist here on YouTube. With a 30-day free trial, you'll find commercial-free complete beginner series, intermediate flows, workshops, at-home retreats, challenges, lots of stuff to help you grow and expand your practice. So start your 30-day free trial at lcyoga.com and I'll see you there.